Let me try. Oh, I love it! How do you get it out?
It's like
You gotta be one of these.
No.
Or maybe this.
It's like bingo.
How do you do it?
Just bingo, bingo. Okay.
Now have patience. Pam is here.
There-
It's like kindergarten. I gotta try all the.
Recording. Let's just focus.
Therein lies the
Yeah, he's
difference.
supposed to be recording.
I know.
I'm gonna get one of these for my grand.
No, this is
All right,
great.
here we go.
Ready?
Okay, with-
Player engagement.
Welcome, ladies. Those of you who were with us last week, we did pitching and putting. Today we're going to be doing the chipping and the putting. Now, does everyone remember what's the difference between a chip and a putt?
Yes.
And when? Yes, we do. Typically, just to go over it real briefly, a pitch shot is one shot where we need to get some height over a bunker, water, whatever it might be, where we just need to get it over whatever obstacle we have. A chip shot requires a very low running shot. It doesn't require us to get over any particular obstacle. And typically we want to do that when we want to get the ball on the ground running as quickly as possible. The main thing that we want to try and remember is with our stance and posture and the way our hands are on the golf club. Ideally, when we go into making a setup, we want to make sure, if you take a look at my left arm and my right arm, it kind of forms a V, yes?
Yes.
What we want to try and do is to make sure that whenever through the execution of the shot, we want to make sure that that V remains intact. Now, if you notice, I'm just simply rocking my arms and shoulders here. Typically what we see in errors are, we take the club back and then the hands start to take over here. That's a definite no-no as it comes to chipping. So ideally, as I said, we want to make sure, and you can play the ball the back of your stance for a lower shot, lower trajectory, or you may play it a little more forward off that foot to get a little higher trajectory. However, you are the one that's, for instance, we're going to go with this little shot right here. You are going to best determine what club it is that you want to use. Now bear in mind, you can chip with any club in your bag. Anything from a sand wedge down to a hybrid, a 3-wood, whatever it is. But the thing that you want to maintain, you've got to maintain the fundamentals. Arms simply extended here. Arms and shoulders simply rocking that club. This is just a fundamental that we just have to maintain. The last thing that we want to avoid is the little, what we call the jack-in-the-box syndrome, where an anxiety attack, for another reference, is where you get back here and you're there looking and you get that little hitch right here. It happens. We want to avoid that, because typically when you do that, once my body starts raising up, if you notice the club head is coming up. So what's going to happen? We're going to hit top of the ball. We're going to go. I know none of you have ever done that, so it doesn't apply to you. So again, bearing in mind what we want right here, we've got this little shot right here. Now, the idea about a chip shot is simply to get over whatever junk there is in front of us. But again, maintaining the fact that we want to keep it low and simple. Most my arms, the club head, going towards the target, okay? So whatever we decide to do, and we're going to go for this particular shot right here, and this is just a simple sand wedge. My arms are simply hanging straight down. Weight is predominantly on that left side, okay? You want about 75–80% on that left side, and you want to keep it that way all the way through the stroke, because we want to avoid moving that lower body that much. So just the arms and the shoulders, and hopefully we can make a decent chip right here. That's all we want to have. Now, the second thing before we get into your demonstration, let's just say we have a longer chip. Now I just use a sand wedge. You notice how high it popped up in the air. I've got a 7-iron now. If you'll notice, and we're going to go, let's say, to that little top portion right by the crest. There's another hole right there where we don't really need to get any height. So we want to treat this again just like a putt. You'll notice the ball comes out a lot lower, but the idea behind the chip again is to get over that little junk right there and releasing towards the hole. Everything remains the same now, just a different club. The stroke remains the same, but we're going to go ahead and make it stay a little bit lower to the ground. So again, I'm lining up right here. This is a simple 7-iron right here. Weight again on the left-hand side. Arms and shoulders, everything is still. And I'm treating it just like a putt.
Okay.
So here, this is where your choices come in. You can decide whether you like to use that chip shot for that long, or you can use that if you want to use that lob wedge or the sand wedge. It's entirely up to you. But you have got to decide which club and what shot you're going to use. You want to make sure that you commit to that particular shot. You can't be here going, I'm not sure, and then you get over it and you do nothing. So at least commit to that shot. And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But you just want to go over there and say, this is the shot that I want to hit. Rehearse whatever practice swings that you have and go for it. Live with the consequences. Question?
Yes. So when you're aiming, you're doing your little chip towards the hole.
Okay.
Are you aiming for a spot for it to land, to go around that way?
Absolutely.
So you're aiming here, not so much there. You're
Not necessarily at the hole.
level.
Because again, yeah, that's where your homework comes in, where you're
Okay.
literally getting behind the ball
Okay.
and looking at the breaks of the club in the green, and you're looking for that spot where you think that ball is going to break. And that now ultimately becomes your target, because you're not necessarily hitting it straight to the hole. You want to find a spot out there where you think it's going to land, and hopefully
And the same for the long one
same
too.
thing with the long one.
You just aim
Remember,
further out.
first thing, exactly, but remember the thing that we want to remember, we want to get that ball, whatever club it is, to get over whatever obstacle we are. Questions, concerns? No? So what we'll do, again, since you've got your spot marked out already. Shocker.
Well, look, I see everybody else coming in. We just
No, they're just around here. Okay?
What do you want me to do?
No, you're fine. So what I'll do, I'll just come around. We'll get you all a couple of golf balls, and we'll. Now, what I'd like you to do is simply try one of each shot. Okay?
Really, is it?
Yeah.
I kept thinking, oh, that'd be nice.
He wants to start with the short one.
Gets to the right of the cone so that probably Cheryl can still go right here. She's a
Where's
lefty.
the southpaw?
So-
Cheryl, where did she go?
She went to go get a jacket. It's too cold for her.
Are you
It's
there?
like 80 degrees. It's like 80 degrees out here.
So I'll leave Cheryl right here. And again, like I said, just go with whatever club you decide, whether it's a long one or short one. Either way. What's that? Oh, it's just horrible or what? Oh, goodness gracious. I guess I'll have to get